The next item is Report Service Employees International.
President Fuller, Superintendent Allison, members of the Board of Education, I have a couple of things I'd like to talk about. First of all, very briefly, I'm sure you already know, we ratified the agreement. Didn't satisfy everybody, but there's a lot of strongly held opinions and feelings, and they were voiced. The majority felt that it was time to move forward, so we did. And we look forward to the school year and to being as productive as we can be. And I guess we'll be back at it again next spring. But I also wanted to talk about another issue, and it's something that's probably going to have a more profound impact on the lives of our classified staff and our teaching staff, and also other local government employees. I don't know if you saw as I did, but in the past couple of weeks there has been a number of media stories. It was on the front page of the Wichita Eagle that the Kansas Public Employee Retirement System is bankrupt. And I'd like to say a few things about that. When people make a political intervention, and that's exactly what that report was, I think that some requirements should be placed on them that they consider the impact of that. Local government employees and state employees, but local government employees not only in school districts but in cities across the state of Kansas and in counties, and here in Sedgwick County, our county employees and our school board employees are all covered by the Kansas Public Employee Retirement System. So when we start tossing words around about that system being bankrupt, I think it puts an onus of responsibility on the people that use those kind of words. I'd like to just point out some things about that retirement system, and I think probably you're aware of these things, but just to bring them together. First of all, the Kansas legislature has never met the actuarial rate for the employer contribution. In good times when investments were doing well, they saw no need to meet that requirement, and in times when the economy was doing bad, the state was always too short of funds. In contrast, when the legislature created the Kansas Public Employee Retirement System, they established certain requirements, and including among those requirements was the employee contribution. And the employees, with their contributions set by the legislature, they have never flagged in those contributions. It is the legislature that has flagged in those contributions. There is an unfunded liability on the part of the Kansas Public Employee Retirement System, and that has increased most recently due to the economic situation with our stock market. Somewhere 40, and if you look at 401ks, those of you that are familiar with that, you've seen tremendous losses in 401k plans as well. So that has happened across the board, has been made worse by the fact that employer requirements have not been met. Those who want to see employees pay the price by limiting benefits for employees who receive or will receive KPERS benefits should certainly consider whether or not that is the way we want to go in the state of Kansas. The average benefit for employees on KPERS is $1,100 a month, which is certainly not some sort of exuberant or exaggerated amount. It's not lavish at all. So I don't think we ought to look at cutting benefits for employees. Retirees who are on KPERS do not get regular cost of living increases. That's something the legislature has to pass. They don't receive health care benefits. They don't receive inflation adjustments. That $1,100 is not a lot of money to live on a monthly basis. Employees in public service jobs Teachers, firefighters, police, correctional officers, our own classified staff sacrifice in salary in many cases over their private sector counterparts. And I think that that's extremely clear when you start looking at some of our trade positions and some of our other groups that work within the district. And when you consider that many of our employees, obviously they take these jobs out of choice because they like what they do and they enjoy it, or they're not there for the money. But they do take that job with the consideration that they're going to get a stable retirement when they leave employment. And I'd like to finish by just saying a few things about that study, which has not been widely reported. First of all, the author of the stories of the study is a guy named Barry Paulson, who you might recall from Tabor fame. They tried to pass the Tabor law, and I won't get into that except that it would have restricted school funding in the state of Kansas. These are not friends of public education. The same people that have come out with this study are the groups that fund and the individuals that fund Americans for Prosperity. That is the corner of our political system where this is coming from. It's coming from the Tea Party group. It's coming from Americans for Prosperity. Quite frankly, it's coming from the Kochs. And they are not friends of public education or of taxation or government. And they know exactly what they're doing. What to tell legislators, media, and neighbors, and I do want to give some credit to this. A lot of this information has come from the KNEA, who has been excellent in responding to this immediately, but I feel it should get out there publicly because it hasn't been. Perhaps it will as a result of these things, this meeting this evening, at least on our board channel. What to tell legislators, the media, and your neighbors, and what I would like to ask of this board is when you speak with legislators, tell them that the time has come for the state to honor its part of the KPERS contract, as employees have honored it. It's appropriate to provide our employees with small, dependable source of income. Public servants such as teachers, public safety officers, and firefighters earn less than private sector counterparts, and so they deserve in exchange a divine benefit retirement system and retirement security. It's wrong to make employees shoulder the responsibility for problems with the KPERS system. It's not a lavish benefit. It's the average monthly payment is $1,100. And finally, if the legislature wants to fix KPERS, they should fix it by making sure that it's funded correctly. And I know that means local governments are probably going to have to ante up, including school districts, but I think that that's something that's absolutely crucial for our employees today and in the future. And, you know, I apologize for going on, but I did feel that these things need to be said publicly because I don't think that they are being voiced, and I think we need to get the word out as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Harold. Next item, Mike.